Hello and welcome to the Superscript New Comic Book Minute. We're filming this in a different part of the store this week. We got the comics in the background again.
Yeah.
Kind of a big week.
It is, yeah.
For issues. I guess it's just there's a lot of stuff I'm excited about that came out this week. So I'm gonna start it right off.
All right.
All right. Starting it with a showstopper. Kieran Gillen, X-Men, Sins of Sinister. Not only is it hilarious to me that there is a character named Mr. Sinister from the heady early days of X-Men that has, well, not even the early days of X-Men, who has become a character who you can tell an interesting story with in 2023. But Kieran Gillen shares my opinion and has created a pretty, I don't know, we'll say flamboyant in the best possible way version of Mr. Sinister. But Kieran Gillen's run on the various X books he has been writing are really great. I'm really excited for this X event. X events are usually really nice too because they are kind of self-contained and do not take up 1,000 non-X related titles. So I think if you are interested in getting into X-Men and you like fun X-Men, this would be the place to start. Kieran Gillen, one of my favorite writers at Marvel right now. Book looks awesome. Very excited about it. Switching over to DC, we've got Dawn of DC, Superman Action Comics.
From one big event to the next.
Yeah. Dawn of DC, the biggest of events, because I think it's just the whole darn year.
Yeah.
First supersized issue, more pages of action. So this is, their big new initiative, Dawn of DC. We've got Phil Kennedy Johnson writing Action Comics, really exciting. This is like a great time to be reading Superman comics, everybody. All of them are pretty good right now. And this one, we have all the super people, except for potentially Clark Kent on the cover. Nope, there he is, right in the middle. All right, I am mistaken. But yeah, we've got all of the Supermen on the cover of this book and inside it as well. And just like we have all the Supermen, we have all the Wolverines in Wolverine Murder World. Another one of the Murder World books. These are a series of one-shots that kind of tie together. This one involves all of the Wolverines. So I'm going to read it because, there aren't a lot of 5/4 superheroes. Speaking of connected one-shots, I am just killing it with these segues. One Bad Day. This is the series of like spine thickness, prestige format books that have been coming out from DC that kind of give the Killing Joke treatment to each of the villains in Batman's Rogues Gallery. So how does a normal person become the Riddler or Penguin or so on and so forth. And they're each written by some of the top talent at DC. This one, Catwoman One Bad Day, is written by G. Willow Wilson, one of our favorite writers. So these have all been amazing. They all fly off the shelf, so make sure you pick them up. You can read them individually. You don't need to read all. You don't need to have been reading all of them for it to work out for you. Speaking of things it's in a great time to be a fan of, much like Superman, also a great time to be a Star Trek fan. Perhaps the best time to be a Star Trek fan, save like when Deep Space Nine started coming out. Yeah. Tons of great Star Trek television, and probably the crown jewel in Star Trek television right now is Strange New Worlds, and they're putting out a comic that is going to bridge the gap between season 1 and season 2, and it's pretty good. Issue 1 was really good, and we still have a few copies of The Last on the Shelf, sold a lot faster than I would have expected. But not super familiar with the creative team on this, Kristen Beyer and Mike Johnson, but the book looks great. It looks like a Star Trek book should look. And one of my favorite things about Star Trek comics is just, Star Trek, unlike like Star Wars, not that you have to compare the two, well, I just like Star Wars is like movie budgets you think of, right? And then when they started recently making TV shows, it's Disney. They still spend like a lot of money on them. There's a lot of Star Trek is like, how do we stretch a little bit of money a long way? Like, there was a space battle in this one, so we gotta do Sherlock Holmes on the holodeck next week, kind of thing. Growing up, I really like Star Trek comics because they can kind of present the majesty and strangeness of the Star Trek universe in a way that sometimes the limitations of network television could not.
True.
It's less true these days when the new Star Trek has the appropriately sized budget.
Mm-hmm.
No segue here. This is like a hardboiled crime stuff from Cy Spurrier, who I love. Damn Them All. Simon Spurrier, Charlie Adlard. I keep wanting to say Aldred, which is a very different penciler. And Sophie Dodgson. This has been great so far. If you like crime stuff, weird crime stuff, psychedelic stuff, this is a book for you. And weird crime stuff, I guess, is going to be Magic Order number 4. I'm going to keep the segues coming. Magic Order number 4, volume 4. So this is Mark Millar. He does these books in volumes, and this is issue 1 of volume 4. Do you have to have read 1 through 3? Yeah, probably help, but they're episodic, so you could jump on here if you wanted to, and I don't think you'd be totally lost, except there's a Magical Secret Society, which that one should be clear from the cover. The best Saga cover to date. Saga is back after a little bit of a break again, not nearly as long as the last one, but an unexpected break, and everybody got nervous. Yeah, no, I love the idea of the, robot kid starting a band with the main character's kid. I love Saga. You love Saga. Does not really warrant me trying to sell it to you. Other than if you're not reading this book, it's probably the most important comic of the last I don't know how long, and it's great. You should catch up on it. We got Darkwing Duck issue 1. I am a huge Darkwing Duck fan. So let's get dangerous and read Darkwing Duck number 1. See what it did there. It's the thing they say in the theme song.
Looks great.
Yeah, no, it looks really good. I'm really excited about it.
I just noticed he is on a gargoyle.
He's on a gargoyle. Thanks for the assist. We got Gargoyles number 2. I can't believe how popular this is. Yeah. I was not a Gargoyles kid. I missed out on it a little bit. I mean, I was aware of it. But I didn't know how beloved it was. I also one of our customers who's a librarian and a well-read person said that Gargoyles is responsible for getting him into reading Shakespeare, and I didn't realize how important this book was to so many, or these characters were to so many of our customers. So now I'm watching Gargoyles, and turns out you're all right. It was great. I can't believe it was absent from my childhood. I love it. But the comic's been pretty good too. So we've got a few. I think very few copies of issue 1 left on the shelf. Because it sold like crazy. People love Gargoyles, but we'll have some second printings in if you can't get one of those remaining first printings of issue 1, and then we've got lots and lots of covers of issue 2.
Same with Darkwing Duck.
Same with Darkwing Duck. Yeah. Which exciting stuff. And then we have the Elliot Hartzell, the best looking fantasy comic book in the history of fantasy comic books. That's right, I said it. Don't at me. Do people still say don't at me? Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda, Monstrous. I don't even know. You guys have heard me talk about this, but every time there's a new arc of Monstrous, I'm going to take out the opportunity to tell you all, this is a book you should be reading. It's really, really good. I think it's important. And yeah, I mean, it's probably the best fantasy comic I've ever read in my life. And I say probably because sticking the landing on something this sweeping and epic is really cool. But the thing I always like to point out about it is it doesn't draw on any of the fantasy tropes you're familiar with. It takes you outside of, I think, most Arthurian, Tolkien-centric. And not that there's anything wrong with that stuff. I love that stuff. But it is the most wholly original, I guess, piece of fantasy comic book writing I have seen in a long time. And it just looks gorgeous. Just one of the best looking comics. All right.
Well, stuff I'm looking forward to this week. We've got Archie versus the World. This is a new one. If you want something between JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Mad Max
and
Archie,
the three pillars of
Archie versus the World is for you. Highly recommend that one. Then to keep on with the weirdness, we've got issue 3 of Doctor Strange Fall Sunrise by Tradd Moore and Heather Moore. Some Doctor Strange with just some incredible art. Just fantastic stuff. We still have some of issue 1 and 2, so check that out if you haven't been reading it. Catch up on that. Then we've got issue 2 of Geoff Johns on Justice Society of America. So issue 1's really good. If you want to check out some more Geoff Johns business.
There's some Geoff Johns characters too.
With some Geoff Johns characters.
Dr. Fate and Huntress.
Right.
And Stargirl and yeah.
And JSA number 2 is for you. Then we've got Dead Seas, also number 2, by Kevin Scott, with some really cool art by Nick Brokenshire. This one is about a heist on a big deep sea freighter. Or a ship of some kind, I don't know. So yeah, Dead Sea number 2, we still got some of issue 1 if you're looking for a good kind of like heist book. And then also by Kevin Scott is also writing Star Wars Yoda.
Those are 2 very
3.
different books to be writing at the same time.
Let's write some Yoda as well. So we still got, I believe we still have some of 1 and 2. There's these purple aliens. I don't know what they're called. They're probably called the same thing as the name of their planet. That's
or some sort of like cuisine.
Yeah.
Based on
whatever. Yeah. Then also Star Wars related, we've got Star Wars High Republic, The Blade, number 2.
Good.
Who's writing this? Charles Soule, author of many good Star Wars things. Then number 1, Steve Orlando's Bulls of Beacon Hill. I don't know much about this other than there's some naked people just eating breakfast in the kitchen.
That's mainly what the book's about, yeah.
So I've learned that. But yes, it looks. I don't. The cover.
It's like a police procedural.
Okay, yeah. The cover has a cop potentially about to kill someone, and then there's a bull in the background. I don't think the bull is actually there. It's just to make the cover look cool. But we'll find out who the real bulls are by reading.
Actually about giant bulls.
It's about, enormous bulls that have taken over the town, and the cops are trying to fend them off. Then we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, Lost Years. Holy cow. Follow up to The Last Ronin.
I actually think it's like a prequel.
Prequel to
The Last Ronin.
Ronin.
Following
that makes sense.
in,
Yeah. Follow up in the series, but yes, chronologically. So Kevin Eastman returning to The Last Ronin,
which was awesome.
Which was one of the biggest books since we've been a shop, really. So check that out. Lost Years. I think we have a few different covers for this too. If you're a fan of the covers, different covers.
We'll say we are currently waiting on a restock of the actual Last Ronin,
the hardcover,
which is definitely worth reading if you haven't. We should have that in hopefully later this week. But if he needs to hold you one, I would
let us know,
because we go through that book fast.
Yeah. And then also TMNT related, we've got TMNT and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 2. So they've done a collaboration before, but this is the new one. This is issue 2 of 5. We've got some of issue 1 as well. So if you want to enjoy that team up, then check that out. And then we got DC Universe Lazarus Planet. We Once Were Gods. This is a one-shot in the Lazarus Planet event. That's kind of
all one-shots.
Yeah.
They're connected.
That's kind of tearing everything down before all the Dawn of DC, kind of resets or restarts a lot of different books. And then last, we got a couple of trades. We've got Scotty Young's. This one I think is a favorite of the store. Strange Academy. Finally in a normal comic-sized collection. So this is the first 12 issues of the series, the whole year 1. So if you've been looking forward to reading this in trade to enjoy that wonderful Scotty Young art, then check that out. Yeah. And then another one with some beautiful art. We got Peach Momoko's Demon Days finally collected. This was a really great series of one-shots of reimagining different Marvel characters and sometimes different character origin stories combined with Japanese folk tales. And it's written and illustrated by Peach Momoko. So if you're a fan of her work and a fan of her variant covers for some of the Marvel books you read, highly recommend checking out Demon Days. And those are the books for this week. So let us know what you're looking forward to, and we'll see you at the shop.